Hey everyone, I'm Kylie, author of a work in progress new adult fantasy series, and today we're going to talk about what I'm doing to get ready for NaNoWriMo during Preptober. So if you haven't heard of NaNoWriMo before, it stands for National Novel Writing Month, and it's the month of November where writers and authors all over the world try to write 50,000 words towards their manuscript in the month of November. So Preptober is in October, and it's where the writers prep what they're going to write for November. So this is going to be my 5th year participating in NaNoWriMo. So in this video, I'm going to share what I'm doing to prepare. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm doing is signing up on NaNoWriMo.org. So this is actually something I only did last year when I participated. The first 3 years I participated, I didn't actually use the website. I just kind of did it on my own. But I found it really beneficial to enter my word count at the end of each day because it asks you how your writing went. There's a little emoji that you get to pick from sad to neutral to happy. And it really made me reflect on how my writing went that day and added a little extra something of motivation for the next day. So let's go sign up.
All right, I'm officially signed up on the NaNoWriMo website. I am going to be using November to start the first draft of Book 3 in Project Elements. Can't wait to get started.
The second thing I need to do is take all of the notes from my notes app on my phone and put them into my Scrivener file. Scrivener is the program that I use to write my novels, but it's a lot more handy when I have random scene ideas or character ideas because I don't have Scrivener on my phone, I put them into my notes app. So there's tons of bullet points of ideas that I had in the middle of the night, in the shower, while I'm at work, while I'm out and about. So all of those notes just end up in my phone, all randomly mixed in and don't really make any sense. So the first thing I need to do is move those into Scrivener and try to make sense of them and organize them. Decide what I'm going to use, what I'm going to shelve maybe for later, and decide how I want those to fit into NaNoWriMo this year. Something I like to have ready for NaNoWriMo, and this isn't always possible depending on what you're writing, but because I'm writing an epic fantasy series, I can do this because I have multiple POVs. So I like to have plans for each POV, which I'm currently writing from 4, because inevitably when I'm doing NaNoWriMo, I completely dry up thoughts on one of my characters and what's going on with their storyline. And when I have multiple POVs ready, I don't have to stop and start replanning and halting my progress with the word count. I just jump to a different character and keep on going. And I have found that to be really helpful for getting to the end of NaNoWriMo and hitting that 50,000 words. The fourth thing I'm going to do is plan my writing schedule. So I've created my own NaNoWriMo calendar that shows the official word count that I'm supposed to hit each day. And to break it out evenly over the 30 days of November, you want to write about 1,667 words a day. I actually do this a little bit differently. I plan to write more early in the month to get ahead of the game, because it seems like every November that I do this, something comes up later in the month that ends up preventing me from writing. And when I'm already ahead, it just completely alleviates that anxiety of falling behind. So I'm going to do that again this year. And it actually worked so well for me last year that I hit 50,000 words on November 15th. So I don't see that happening this year, but who knows? Let's fill out that schedule. For anyone who's participated in NaNoWriMo before, you probably know that sometimes we have to make sacrifices. We have to say no to doing fun things with friends or with family because we have to prioritize our writing. So one of the things I like to do in October to make up for that is to do some fun stuff. So why don't we go do that? Let's go. I'm going on an adventure. So one of the things that I've seen a lot from other people's NaNoWriMo and Preptober videos is this concept of using rewards. So maybe every time you hit 10,000 more words, you treat yourself with something that you've wanted, like an item or an experience. So the only thing I've done in the past related to this is I got like those little Halloween boxes of chocolates, and I was supposed to eat a chocolate after I hit my word count each day. But most of the time I was writing, in the year that I was doing that, I was writing before bed, and I didn't want to have a chocolate right before going to sleep, so I would forget or just choose not to do it, so it kind of became irrelevant. So this year I thought, well, why don't I look at some things, some items that I've wanted, and maybe I'll purchase those beforehand and have them ready for when I hit the word count. So let's take a little trip to the store and see how that goes, and I'll check back in with you after because it didn't go how I expected. I don't know how people vlog in stores. I'm panicking every time someone walks past the aisle when I'm talking. This is so awkward. So I went to the store intending to get some art supplies that I've been wanting for a while, and I thought that would be a great reward to treat myself with. But when I was at the store, as much as I liked the art supplies, and I know that it's something I would like to get eventually, I realized I was actually creating a little bit more of an anxiety around it. We recently did a renovation on our basement, and it cost a fair amount of money. And so spending money right now on things that I don't necessarily need was creating more of an anxiety than an excitement. And when I thought about it, I realized I'm just not someone that gets motivated to write through physical rewards or through spending money to treat myself with something. So I thought back to last year's NaNoWriMo because I remembered feeling so excited about what I was writing, and so excited when I would get to the word count that I did at the end of the day and when I would enter that number. And I realized that for me, the writing really is the reward. Hitting that number, sharing with friends and family how far I got, and hitting that 50K at the end of the month or in the middle of the month, whenever it happens, that for me was the reward. It was the high of being successful at the goal that I had set for myself. So if you're in a place like me where spending money just isn't for you right now, I would try to reframe the experience of the writing and not look for some sort of external reward. No shame if that's what you're doing this year, that's awesome. Just not the place that I'm in right now. So I wanted to put that out there just in case anybody else is seeing these rewards that people are purchasing for themselves and feeling like, oh, I'm not going to be successful because I don't have the funds right now to treat myself to a reward every 10,000 or 20,000 or whatever words. So maybe just try to reframe it and get excited about just seeing that number at the end of the day and seeing that number at the end of the week and the end of the month, and knowing that each word is a celebration. It is a reward. And try to look at it that way and see how that goes. That's what I'll be doing this year. The seventh thing that I'll be doing to get ready for NaNoWriMo during Preptober is to knock off some errands that are on the to-do list. I know how busy November is during NaNoWriMo, and actually my calendar is filling up even more than I expected with some work things. So for me, getting some tasks done in the month of October is really going to help alleviate some of my stress during that month. So I know there's a bedroom we want to paint in the house. There's some outdoor getting ready for winter sort of activities for the house and the property. And another one, not that I like to think about Christmas this early, but it does help to start planning and even start getting some of the gifts or start making some of the gifts, whatever it is that I'm doing that year. That makes a big difference for me. I know there's some last minute Christmas planners, and I don't know how you do it because that is so stressful for me. So I've already got a list going. I'm coming up with ideas for people and kind of putting things in place because I know that during November, my brain is like completely focused on writing, and I don't have this space, it feels like, during that month to think of, extra things and start being creative in other ways. So I try to do some of that in October so that I don't have to worry about thinking about it in November. And then at the end of November, I'm not like, oh my God, Christmas is coming and I am not prepared at all. So I know this one's not really prepping for the writing, but it still kind of is because it's prepping to not be distracted from the writing in November. So maybe give that a shot. Sorry, I know nobody really wants to think about Christmas this early, but it's made a big difference for me in the past. And the last thing that I wanted to share that I'll be doing in Preptober is to talk to friends and family about what I'm doing in November. It is so helpful to have a partner or your kids or friends who are invested in your writing and cheering you on know about what you're doing. One, because they understand if you're less available during that month. They understand there's something that is super important to you that you're working towards. And then when you say you can't make it out with them someday that month, they're okay with it. They get it. But it's also really motivating to have someone to tell about your word count or something exciting scene that you wrote. That helps push you more to do the writing. It makes it more exciting sometimes. I know last year my stepkids were asking me like every day, what's your word count? What did you hit? Because I often wrote before they got up in the morning or after they'd gone to bed. So when I could tell them that I was now thousands of words ahead of where I told them yesterday, it was actually really exciting. And having a partner that understands that you just don't have as much time. You might be a little rushed. The house might be a little less clean. And friends that check in. I had some friends, but friends that do write and then friends that don't write, but just were excited about what I was doing, checking in with me through, once a week or a couple times that month. And it does make a difference when you can share how much progress you've made and what you're excited about and what you liked writing. So if you have those people in your life, absolutely share with them. If you don't feel like you have those people around you in your kind of physical space, then the NaNoWriMo.org has a big community aspect to it. I can't really speak to it because I've never actually used it. Last year was the first time I used the website, and I literally only used it to track the word count. I haven't felt like I personally had time to kind of dive into the community because, like I said, I've had friends and family close to me that they kind of become my community support. But there is so many people online, Facebook groups, authortube, booktube, like there's all of these places that you can find people that are writing as well and would love to connect. So definitely reach out to them, reach out to your friends and family, the ones that are supportive of what you're doing specifically, because that's going to be a motivator in itself, just sharing your word count and what kind of things you've been writing during the month. I'm sure there's more that I'm going to be doing for Preptober, but this is all I want to share in today's video. So if you are in the middle of Preptober right now and you're getting ready to do NaNoWriMo, good luck, you've got this. If you hit the 50K in November, that's amazing, congratulations. If you don't, that's totally okay. Every word that you wrote for NaNoWriMo is still ahead of where you were before you tried. So just keep it up. you've got this. And leave a comment below if you are participating in NaNoWriMo, or maybe you're being a Nano Rebel and you're setting a different word count goal, and that's totally cool. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye. So if you are doing Preptober,